this has run its course, at least in our estimation.
Yeah.
So our final overtime will be Friday. Don't miss it. What are we going to do? No idea yet. But
He's
that's
gonna
how this
play.
works.
He's gonna play or sing a song.
Ooh.
Emphasis on the play. So Jannelle, earlier today on the show, we didn't we didn't finish it. I wonder if Friday we'll bring that one back up again. I think that's interesting.
There was a good question that came in at the end. Did you see that angle?
No.
That could be for Friday.
No.
It was like, what do you do about mom guilt if you work full time throughout the week? All we want to do on Friday and Saturday and Sunday is spend time with our kids. I can see that. I know husband comes first. I'm just saying, you don't want to just be like, oh, let's go on a date, leave them. When you're prioritizing marriage, you can also be neglecting your kids. I mean, there's only but 24 hours. So it will come up on Friday, hopefully.
But you got to tell the context.
Yeah, so you all know, I went to DR. It's still in my mind and my heart. It was so nice out there. But I was still thinking about a conversation I had with one of my cousins. And so she has younger children. Her oldest is like 7 and 5. Her parents obviously are in town. Everybody lives in town. And she and her husband go on dates and trips often. So I'm talking about like resorts and beaches, maybe every other month or more, and dates all the time. They either have their parents or they have a babysitter watch the kids. And so because of Facebook, they know that a lot of our trips, if not most, are with our kids. We go with our kids all the time, and when we go out to eat is with our kids and all that. My kids are older, so Len and I spend more time alone. But when we've had smaller kids, like my sister does, we sacrifice some of that. In our case, because we didn't have family staying nearby. So her philosophy and what she told me was, y'all need to prioritize your marriage and leave the kids more. Like, why do you bring kids on trips? You know, it's about your marriage. That comes first. So my sister, who has younger kids, was asking me, yo, are we getting this wrong? So I shared my thoughts with her, and I was wondering what you think. I like the practical idea that you shared about how you and Sarah did it when you had little kids. I don't know if I would have wanted to do that, but it was all we could have done, so that was a good one.
Well, and yet we still made plenty of mistakes, and we didn't prioritize our marriage enough.
Really? Why? I mean, you were together all the time. Every day.
Because building a marriage relationship takes work, and there's no time to put it on pause. That's my personal philosophy. And it's the priority relationship over the kids. Now the question becomes, how do I put this? Perhaps, and I would love your thoughts on this, we're making a false dichotomy. In that it's one or the other. Is it? Isn't it possible your cousin is getting lots of wonderful experiences with her kids during the week and most weekends, and also going and doing lots of fun, quality things with her husband? I don't know. Only you know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I wonder whether you and I, and me in other situations, make it an either or when it isn't.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? I mean, because you can still, because her saying go on trips more, just you and your husband, she's not saying never take your kids somewhere.
No. Yeah.
I don't have the perfect answer. I'm asking the question.
Yeah. I don't know what it looks like for her. I do know they both work. And they both work a lot of hours. So like a lot of families here, when you have 2 working families, you only got so much time to be kicking it with your kids. If they're in school, they're doing homework.
Right.
So if she's prioritizing in that way, you almost are like that listener that texted in. You almost got to pick one or the other.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And
You
so
do.
she's saying you pick your family, you pick your marriage. So what I did, because...
Is she right?
Right, is she right?
What do you think?
What I did and what I told my sister who's in that situation, because we were in a position where we didn't have childcare and we kind of had to pay because Len worked crazy hours and all that, I told her, Giselle, who's my sister, I said, I think there are short years because I already went through it. It didn't feel short at the time, but my son was like at the age to be able to babysit his siblings quicker than I expected. And so I told her it's a short amount of time in the life of your marriage where you are investing in your kids and in your family. May not be like your marriage in that way, but those years will come. They'll come when they get older. When they get older, which is sooner than we think, they come when they leave the house, and you got the rest of your life. We were also together 4 years before we had kids. So a lot of that was, right. And that was on purpose because Len's, this is a story y'all haven't heard, Len's grandfather had 7 boys, and they got pregnant like immediately. And he told Len, if you can help it, wait, because you'll never get that time back. He said, even when they grow, like you won't get it back. So we waited 4 years. So we kind of got that out of our system. And so that looked differently for us in terms of like, okay, well, we'll take a pause and this is going to be a priority. But am I getting it wrong? You know, thank God I'm on the other side. We go on dates and we go on trips. Rob says, Jannelle, did Brian recognize your new hairstyle?
Of course I did, Rob.
He was like,
every time she does it, I
something different
notice.
about you. What's going on?
No, that's not what I said. I said, I like your hair, it's different.
Yeah, you did.
I noticed every time.
It is cute.
Aw, thank
I
you.
love the curls.
Sarah says, good morning, all. It's been a few weeks of not being able to connect. We miss you, Sarah. Thank you for the gifts and the chocolate and
so
the
good.
treats. You're so awesome.
So good.
Tomorrow we travel, and I look forward to catching up next week. What's up, Oris, on YouTube? So what do you think about the idea of spending some years and looking at it as it's just an investment in your family? If you feel like you got to sacrifice the way I did, there's a lot of families in that situation.
I think
they don't
every
got-
couple has to do what's best for their marriage. I can't pretend to know what's best for everyone's marriage. Can't.
Okay.
Well, what I can say is that as I watch a bunch of my peers I graduated with, some of my friends, I've seen far too many marriages fall apart that the couple didn't prioritize their relationship during those years.
Yeah.
Because when their kids get old enough for them to start focusing on each other again, they don't even know who each other are anymore.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how to do it right. I don't know what the perfect one looks like. I don't know how you handle it in the 2 people working versus stay-at-home mom perfectly. Sarah and I didn't do it perfectly. We made a lot of mistakes. But at this point in my life, I'd rather give people advice to err on the side of focusing on your marriage than err on the side of assuming if you put it on hold, it's going to be fine.
But why does it have to be put it on hold?
Well, if you're not investing in it and working on it, what are you doing?
You can do that and
How?
still.
If you're not going out, you're not going on trips, and you're not having quality time, you're focusing on the kids. How are you working on your marriage?
Like
Not
even
you,
with
just a person.
yeah, I mean you can go on dates. They would just be scarce. Like for a couple that was together 4 years before kids, when kids came along, even if you're going once a month or every other month, that's like it looked nothing like when we had before we had kids. So there'll be a change, but that doesn't mean you're not investing. You know?
Well, how are you investing in your marriage between the dates every 2 months?
Yeah, I see.
That's my question. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying how would someone do that? If you're in the grind with the kids, traveling with the kids, putting the kids to bed when you go to bed, getting up, doing the grind, and every 2 months you go to a movie,
Yeah.
how are you working on your marriage relationship?
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody might have an answer to that. Maybe it's in the between moments.
I mean, it
Maybe you
looks
cook
different.
together. Maybe
I think the work of raising kids, working together, is a way of working on your marriage and doing that whole thing. There's during Bible studies, there were years, some special Bible studies, because most of them don't do this, that may have childcare, and so you're doing that thing. Angie says we would purposely try and do date nights, even if it was just going to the park or walks. They were far and few, but we tried to purposely carve that time out. Yeah, for us it was far and few. Sarah certainly seems to be a very nice person. With that being said, Brian and Jannelle are leaving us.
Wow.
Okay.
Calm down, Rob.
So pleasure meeting you, and best to you and your family. That's crazy.
Traditional Brian and Jannelle overtime as it is at 9:05 every day will be transitioning to something else, we don't know what. Every once in a while we're going to still be doing live videos, but overtime itself is going to ride off into the sunset.
Mike says to make the spouse a lower priority, even for a short time, can do a big damage to the marriage.
Yeah, it can. It can do great damage.
Yeah.
Again, every marriage is different, every person is different, every couple is different. I can guarantee if Sarah were here, she would agree with me in saying that if we could do it over again in that phase,
Yeah.
we would prioritize our marriage more.
Yeah.
We didn't do it enough.
Yeah.
I wish we would have done more family trips because we didn't do any trips at all. We didn't do any, we didn't go on vacation without them. We didn't just do anything
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we couldn't for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know how we could have found a way to do it. I like the idea of family trips, the ones we've done. I have lots of great memories,
Yeah.
but wish we would have done more of those, but would have prioritized marriage more.
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. Candace says, I have a friend that makes sure she puts the kids to sleep the same time every day. That way, every night, it was just for them. And as the kids get older, they still have to go to their room at the same time. That way, you have the time with your spouse.
That's how Sarah and I have approached it. Although, again, we said we'd never have a TV in our bedroom, but as the older kids have gotten to the age they are now, we don't make our high schoolers go to their room at 8. You know, in our family, that just doesn't make any sense, and it's not reasonable.
Yeah.
So we have our quality time in our room, and if the kids want to come in, they have to knock.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
But again, we like watching shows together. You and Len don't like doing that. So you guys do it your way. You go on walks.
We go on walks.
You do your thing.
Yeah. Mike says, I'll bet most couples would say they should have done more one-on-one with each other. Yeah, I think most couples say that. I think the reality of a lot of couples is what changes it. So if you have family versus you don't have family around, versus money's tight, versus you got sick kids. I mean, there's a lot of, so I think that's the thing. Just like you saying staying home and watching a movie, can we open our minds in terms of what does it look like to invest in your marriage? You know, is it just going on dates and just being together, just alone? You know, I know one idea, we did this sometimes, we didn't do this often because it was unfair because we had so many kids, but doing it with another couple, like if you don't have family, trading babysitting. And so one week we would babysit one family's kids and then the opposite, but then we started outnumbering everybody.
Oh yeah, we had the same problem.
Yeah.
When they got 2 and we got 5, it's just not fair.
It's not.
So we never even tried to do that just because it's not reasonable.
That's so messed up. Danielle, what's up? She says she loves us. All right, time to go, y'all. Oh, Kathy, both are important. It's life. It's good for the kids to see your relationship is important. Yes, it is.
All right.